Going, ladies and gentlemen. This is AZ Sparky here with FSG, and today we're going to take a look at some grapes. On the last episode, you saw us toying around with some bales and getting the grassland mowed and getting all of those bales taken up. I've gone ahead and sold all of those, and the grass was ready again, so I've already gotten another cut of grass on that. But today we're going to take a look at grapes, what we need to do, and what care needs to be done for those. So first thing, planting. How do we plant grapes? What do we do? How do we get there? So you can see over here, I already have some vines planted, and we're going to take a look at what we need to do to get another one set. So you'll see all of these rows that we have over here. And in order to plant grapes, the way we have to do it is we actually have to go into build mode. So let's take a look. And down here at the bottom, you go under construction. And we're looking at productions, orchards, and we have our two different orchards that we can do. And today we're going to be talking about grapes. So from there, that gets us into being able to place the vines down. So you can only do this when the season is correct. And right now for grapes, we are at the last month of being able to plant. So we're going to go ahead and plant one row so we can see what that looks like, and we can execute that. So when planting, I usually try to get it as close to the next row as possible so that we have minimal unusable space over there. So I like to line it up on the field edge and slowly get close to the next vine until it disappears, and then bring it back so that it shows back up again. We click, and then we just drag it on down to the other side. Unfortunately, I have not been able to find an option to be able to lock it to a straight line or anything like that. We can lock it to a next vine, but that's not what we're looking for, because we wouldn't be able to harvest any of that. So again, I bring it to the edge of the field, and then I slowly drag the mouse over until it's as close as I can possibly get it. And we place that. And that's how we plant grapes. So from there, we can take a look in the menu, and let's turn that off, and we can see that it is now planted where we just were. We can see the other grapes have various stages of harvest and are ready to go. So things that we need to do in order to fertilize and prep those is take care of the ground. You can see over here we've got grass that's barely growing. Here we have some pretty long grass. So what we need to do in order to take care of that, and it actually gives us a fertilizer stage, but unfortunately we don't need that fertilizer stage currently, is we need to mulch it and cultivate it. So I've already gone down to the shop and purchased the two items that we're going to use for this. And the way you can do that is you go into packages, click grapes, and then you're going to be able to take a look and see all of the items, the basic items that we're going to be able to use here. So we have a mulcher and a cultivator. So first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be mulching the grass, and that's going to chop it all up, set it there on the surface for us, and then we're going to cultivate that in, and that's what gives us that additional fertilizer state. Again, we don't need that because we already have all the ground fertilized in preparation for all this. However, I'm going to show you how that works and some of the pains that are associated with that. So typically you just have one of the two implements on there. However, I have found that you can put the mulcher on the front and the cultivator on the back, and you can minimize the passes that you're going to have to take. So let's go ahead and fire this up and take a look at how that goes. So when we're doing this, one of the things we want to do is stay as close as possible to the vines. And that's where the problem starts for us. So by staying as close as possible to the vines, we end up having collisions. So we're trying to get that grass that's growing near the base of the vine, mowed, and then mulched up there and cultivated under so that we can maximize the yield we're going to get out of this. And you can see we're not quite wide enough to get to the other side of the vine either, so we actually have to do 2 passes in between each of these vines in order to take care of both of those. And it's just kind of a trial and error of finding what distance works so you can maximize your speed while still getting as much of it as possible. You'll see that there are some that you're going to miss, and when you choose to go back and get those, it's up to you. You can see on the rows to our left here that there are some areas that I was not as good at getting close to those. It's a battle that's can be frustrating at times, but patience is key for this one. Spin it back around and do that other portion that we missed. One thing to note, hired workers do not work for these, and so everything we have to do is completely manual. There is a mod that came out that it's not on Mod Hub, but I saw a mod that came out that changes the distance for the vineyards to allow you to place them 1.5 meters away, and all of the equipment we use is 1.5 meters. So the idea behind that one is that it allows for you to do the cultivating and all of the work that we're doing right now in a single pass without having and being able to get both sides of the vineyard. So it's something I've looked at. I don't know if I'm going to try that. I might try it on one of my other servers and see how that works, and it might be something we implement in the future. But as of right now, this is just how we're going to have to do it. And I'll show you on the next pass what it would look like if we didn't go as close as we can to the vine and we just kind of stick middle of the row. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the yield. I might see at some point during the series of doing a field test to see how that ultimately affects all of it. Turning radius definitely isn't as good as it could be for these, but I'm not sure that it's actually going to make any difference, being that we already do have the second stage of FERT on all of these vineyards. The mods that we're using right now, we're disabling the camera collisions, so hopefully the video will be a little smoother for you guys. We've got ourselves manual attach. So with manual attach, that allows us to, or forces us to actually have to get out of the tractor to connect anything, and just adds a little bit of realism for you. Looks like we got a friend joining us again. And as you saw over here in the vineyards, our grapes, they're ready to harvest. So I'm thinking we're going to have to either lease or get out a loan and buy ourselves a harvester, and we can start selling some grapes. Maybe we can pick up the production plant and go with that, but for right now we've got some grass to mow and we'll probably get that started. And as you can see here with the manual attach, we have to come up and actually connect the PTO, and we'll do that back here as well. And that also we have to connect the hydraulics. I don't believe the front has hydraulics for us to connect. Otherwise, she just doesn't work. Get that fired up. Drop it down. And time to cut some grass. let's head on down the shop and see what we can pick up. Still not the Avengers. They had me good. Alright, so let's see what we got on sale. Anything good? Oh man, it was wishful thinking. So if we lease this, man, that's still 12 grand. Well, I think that's the cleanest way for now. Yeah. Alright, we made it up here finally. And in case you were wondering, 15 miles an hour is a painful speed to be driving all the way up those hills. But let's go ahead and get this harvester going and let's pick some grapes. Hopefully we'll make some money off this and be good to go. Oh, apparently I need to unfold it. Oh, the mower's coming. Where are they? There he is. Danger zone. Alright, well, if you've taken a look, these have the fences that we had to put in here. And unfortunately, there are collisions with each one of them. So even once we do get to hire workers, it's not exactly going to help us. We're still going to have to do all this by hand. And you have to be careful, as you kind of saw right there, it's got a little stuck, to make sure that you are centered over this fence line, or it just becomes a big hassle. Kind of curious on what the yield is we're going to get off of these, because you can see these first 4 rows. We did the mulching and fertilizing and everything else. So that gave us 629 liters off of the first row. I'm curious if that's about what we're going to get off of each row. Hello, our friends here. But yeah, I'm curious on what that's going to do if the fact that we did not mulch and cultivate the other rows because it already had the fertilization state. So we're going to get a little bit of theory to practice here and see how that goes. So as we get all these harvested, the next day I think it is, so it might be a month in game or one day, I don't recall specifically, but we'll take a look at it. The vines will start to turn a golden color and need to be pruned, so then we'll have to come through with a pruner and get all of those knocked off, and that basically, it's kind of like seeding it for the next season. That gets it all knocked off and ready to go so that it can then become a vine again for next year. Got to take a look at what that was on that last row. So we will take a look at what 4 rows does, or let's see here. We're at 1825. What I missed? There it is. It's hard to see which ones yet need to do. That's 1825 for 3 rows. So it's about 600 liters per row. And I think it might be worthwhile averaging this out just to take a look. We definitely missed some spots as we're going through, but we did pretty darn good. That's 24, 26. Yeah, it's about 600 liters per row is what we're getting on that one. We'll see what this works out to be on this next one. Give us an idea of what we're getting. This should give us our first idea. Alright, so 3,001 minus 2426, 575. So we are getting a little less off of that. So note to self, even though the fertilizer state says that it was all ready to go, definitely worthwhile to get everything taken care of. We're going to take this little electric tractor, swing back down to the shop, and we're going to pick ourselves up one of the trailers that we can use so we can sell off these grapes. See you guys back in the shop. Alright, back at the shop here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what kind of trailers we're going to need. So we know that it suggests here that, man, that would take everything from us. Otherwise, I would say we're going big, but I don't think that's going to be the right answer. It's going to be this tiny one for right now. More trips, but hey, we're starting out small. We got to get this figured out. And I'll bring this back on up to the fields. And we've got our first load of grapes going. It looks like we will be able to haul about 2 harvester loads. That's not terrible. And back at it. And let's see what kind of price we're going to get for this. So grapes, looks like the lowest is at the grape processing plant. Oh. Where else can we take this? Where's this one at? It's currently September. But I don't have anywhere to store this, so I don't know how they would do that. I think once we get enough money, we're going to get this to the grape processing plant. But first, we're just going to have to sell them off. I don't know how to say that one, so I'm not even going to try. Oh, but man, that's close by. Yeah, we're on our way. Nothing bad could possibly happen from this. Back to full send farming. Nice, got a little bit of air there. No, that wasn't bad at all. Back up the hill might be fun. Luckily, we'll have it at the trailer. And this is probably not the right spot. It's probably the one that's behind me. Yep. I always forget which one is which on where we need to take it. Come on. 13,000 for that? It's not terrible. Back up the hill we go. Oh, come on. We have to make our own switchbacks here. Making it work. And huzzah. Go. A little quieter here in the cab. Let's see how well we can line this up this way. See if we can get it. There we go. It's not too bad. It almost looks like I know what I'm doing sometimes. Alright everybody, thank you all for joining us. Again, this is AZ Sparky, and we've got our friend here, Strange Talon, for FSG. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next episode.